Can I see myself? All right. Hey, no, you need to go lay down. You can't be here. Okay, huge update on the project from last week. I wanted to let you know how that ended up because it got so much worse. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, so stay tuned for the whole video where you can see that we're actually making progress on our train wreck startup. Here's the project. Everything in green right here. If you look really close, everything in green is what we did. This was supposed to be aluminum, this is supposed to be aluminum, this is vinyl right here. However, the problem is that when he drew this whole line and did not say anything about existing fence, which is noted by the EF. When we had problems with the customer, I could see how they might have been confused. There was no confusion over here, although maybe we should have used a different notation, like a dotted line instead of a solid line to really denote that better. Never mind the fact that we did spell out the number of sections and posts. This is just a sketch that we use, and the bid also states all of that information. So we know that we're doing 48 feet on this side, we're doing 14 feet up here on the front, we're doing all this aluminum fence. So we went 48 feet, which brought us to 10 feet. Actually, it brought us all the way to the front of the house. So what we ended up doing is the HOA required us to be 10-foot setback, and so we did a 10-foot setback and then went back to 48 feet from the front of the house. And that ended up being right where the aluminum fence started. Now this line that I have drawn in pink right there is actually the neighbor's existing aluminum fence that started right about there and went all the way to the back of the property. So when they had a problem and they said, you know, it just doesn't look like I got the value I wanted, I said, okay, well what we'll do is we'll do that piece and we'll bring it all the way back to where the aluminum stopped because, you know, I can see how you might have been confused about that section of fence. And they said, okay, that's great. Never mind the fact that they wanted a gate right there in the aluminum fence that was only 19 inches wide, so we had to specially make that gate. We did all of that and told them that it would be a $350 charge, and they were fine with that. So we go out there, we do the number of sections that it takes to get all the way back to that gate where we put that gate in. I call them up a day later and I say, okay, by now you've noticed the fence is all done. How do you feel about that? And she says, well, I thought I wasn't gonna be able to see my neighbors at all. And I'm like, I don't really understand what you're saying. You can't see your neighbors. There's a privacy fence back here. She says, well, like I can still see my neighbor's fence. I thought we were gonna cover up all their aluminum. And I'm like, oh, so what she was referring to is she thought we were gonna go all the way back to the back of the property line through the gate and actually do this piece marked in yellow right there. Because on the other side, this is vinyl all the way to the back. And she said, well, I thought it was gonna match. And I'm like, well, we've gone this far, in for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, I'll come back and I'll do that. But wait, it gets worse. We go out there to do the job and I send the crew out there and send them with enough material to do the project. They set all the posts and then proceed to cut all of the rails short. So now a project that was supposed to take one trip has taken a total of 4 trips all the way over to Middleburg, Florida, which is an hour and 15 minutes away. Lots of extra hours, did not make a dime on the job. So I hope they're happy. We definitely gave them their value just in mobilizations and everything else. I'm doing this in 4 separate projects, actually 5. So we mobilized once to do the aluminum, we mobilized once to do this, we mobilized to do that one. We mobilized to do that one twice because that's where they cut the rails short. And then we mobilized to do that piece. So 5 separate mobilizations, an hour and 15 minutes away to do this job. They definitely got their value. So this entire mess is really our fault. We did not clearly articulate what we were going to do and the customer was confused about it. However, things like the gate, when I called them back and said, we'll go back to the, you know, there could have been some communication error on my part, and it is what it is. It's done. Hopefully have a happy customer. Now let's go see what we did this week that gives me a little bit of hope. So this project behind me is one that I didn't have to come to, except for now where I'm coming to do the inspection. It was done by RJ and Tyler, and I was able to send them out there with limited instruction and have them do this project. And one of the reasons I wanted to come out is not only to show you what they've done, but to inspect their work and see if we have any deficiencies that we need to correct. We had a quick tutorial in the shop before I sent them out where I had to actually show them how to use pole jacks and gave them some rundown on the project, what we were doing, which was replacing this gate panel because the other one got crushed when the truck turned in here, and replacing this post. Even though they ran into problems with huge, massive amounts of concrete in that hole right down here, they were able to tackle the project, and while we didn't make a bunch of money, the most important part is they did it all without me, because I can't build this business and grow this business if I'm always the one out here on the site doing the work. And that's what owner operators need to understand, is if you want to grow your business, you have to be able to send people out, know that they're going to probably make some mistakes, and then be willing to fix those mistakes when they happen. But good communication from the field prevents any of the big mistakes. So some of the mistakes I'm looking at right now is we only use 3 bands. I sent them with 5, they decided to only use 3, so we have bands that are too wide spaced. We're gonna have to come out here and fix that. They were sent out with dome caps for the gates and didn't put the dome caps on. So there's mistakes, but there's nothing major. Everything is really small. We're able to fix everything. And again, I didn't have to come to this project. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. Trust your people enough to give them a little bit of slack and let them learn from their own mistakes. Without doing that, you'll never grow. You'll never make your business bigger if you're always the one that has to be there. And just know, mistakes are going to happen. Without a doubt, mistakes are gonna happen. You've got to let them happen and start with small mistakes. This is a very small project, so anything that was gonna happen was gonna be pretty small. We can work our way through it. Even if we had to rip everything out and start over again, it was gonna be pretty small mistakes. So start small, work bigger, and as they show you that they have the skills necessary, turn them loose and let them take on bigger and bigger tasks without your supervision. And that's how you're gonna grow a company. Next step is to hopefully try and find somebody that wants to be a foreman. That'll really free me up. So stay tuned for what's next. That's this week in Keeping It Real. And until next time, you have a good dang day.